is a WCBI First Alert Severe Weather Update.
All right, Trevor, what do you have over there?
Oxford Police Department confirming a tornado on this one. It's going to be right there at the 7-9 split. I assume that's going to be south of Oxford there, but this is a tornado sighted now, so we're going to treat this as a confirmed tornado. So as this is coming through south of Oxford, just as a reminder for you, let me show you those tornado safety tips. It's been a while since we've had to go through this, so just as a reminder, worst place to be in this situation is car or a mobile home. Better place to be, interior room or a basement. The absolute best place is a tornado shelter or a basement. So again, this is a confirmed tornado now, confirmed by the Oxford Police Department, coming through the central portion of Lafayette County and south of Oxford. Keith? Yeah, no new information. All we have heard so far is that there was a confirmed tornado spotted right at the 7-9 split, and that is just to the south of town. So right there around the Marquette community, all the way south of Oxford. And just as a point of reference, the Ole Miss campus is going to be just to the west of town there in that area. So this tornado, for as long as it was on the ground, looks like it might have passed just between Taylor and Marquette. And now that area of rotation is continuing to lift off to the north and east. Just getting ready to pass Highway 278. So if you live between the Altus and the Denmark community, maybe over toward Lafayette Springs, it's your time to take your tornado safety plans. Remember, that is going to be the lowest floor of your room or the building you're in. Get as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And of course, stay away from windows. Rotation still continuing to be evident there on our wind shear product. You see it just now coming in across Highway 334 into the Denmark community, and eventually right there between on Highway 278 between Altus and Lafayette Springs. If you're on Highway 278 and you're listening to us on the east side of Oxford, probably not a good idea. You want to pull off the road. If you know anybody that's driving, you might want to let them know to find a safe place to be, as this storm has a history of producing a tornado. Not sure, no reports of if that tornado is still on the ground, but just about a few minutes ago when it passed that 7-9 split, again, south of town, the Oxford Police Department confirmed a tornado on the ground with this storm. So we're going to continue to keep a close eye on this. If you have any reports, if you see any damage, of course, send those in to us. We would love to pass those along to the folks up at the Weather Service in Memphis. But as of right now, that is all the information we have. Tornado warning is going to continue for eastern Lafayette County until 3:15. So we're going to continue to keep a close eye on this one, Keith.
Trevor, I'm going to send it back over to you for maybe a broader update on things.
Yeah, just wanted to show everybody, as you were mentioning, this severe weather threat is going to continue into the afternoon and evening. We have had that one tornado warning there in Lafayette County. You can see it blinking. But this severe weather is going to continue all the way back, all the way into Texas. We've got a few tornado warnings right there in southern Mississippi. We've had some close to the Jackson metro area earlier today. So this area here, south of Columbus and even into our area, is still primed for some severe weather. So just because this is starting to come through the northern portion of our area does not mean this is over. This is something we're going to be dealing with through the evening and keeping a close eye on. This line of storms continuing to push through. As it does so, could continue to pose the threat for some damaging winds, some small hail in spots, and like we saw earlier, just south of Oxford, the potential for a tornado as this line
Trevor,
comes through.
Just speaking of that, we got a new extension on that warning,
Okay.
So we will just break in real quick here. I think, Trevor, if you want, you can bring up that BTI explainer graphic real quick, and we can explain what that means. But that's on a scale of 0 to 10. So, Trevor, just explain real quickly what that means.
Yeah, so the Barren Tornado Index, as Keith mentioned, is a level from 0 to 10 of what the radar thinks is the potential of a tornado occurring. And as you can see, the higher the number, the more likely we are seeing a tornado. So right now, we're at a 3.2, I believe, and that would be in a low chance. But as we know, this storm has a history of producing tornadoes. A confirmed tornado was sighted just south of Oxford, and that's the same storm. So even though the radar is only at a 3 on this, that is still a good chance that we could see some rotation in the atmosphere, and that could lead to a tornado on the ground. So right now, there may not be a tornado on the ground. There certainly could be, though, but the threat is there, and it is an imminent threat that we will see a possible tornado spin up on this. And as Keith mentioned, these rotating circles here, that's another thing that the radar is indicating of some rotation. That's right there near the Denmark community, as I mentioned, crossing over Highway 278, and that is going to put it into Union County here in the next little bit. So in Myrtle by 334, New Albany, you're going to need to keep your head up by 335. You're not currently under the tornado tornado warning, but that's when that storm is going to be in your area. We've got some more communities here for you. Friendship by 334, Lafayette Springs just in a few minutes at 319, New Albany now at 340, and eventually into Sherman if it holds together by 347. So as I mentioned, tornado warning is going to continue on this one for eastern Lafayette and western Union counties until 345, as we've had a history of this storm producing tornadoes. Right now, rotation threat continuing. Let me get some of this off here so we can get a better view here. Looks like the best rotation right now is going to be right in there just north of the Lafayette Springs community, and of course that is going to eventually take it into Union County. So just as another reminder for you, your tornado safe places, if you're in that red polygon, this is what you need to do. The worst place to be during these situations is in a car or a mobile home, also under a highway overpass. That's not doing you any help. It's actually speeding up the wind. So do not hide under an overpass. Pretty bad also a large room like a warehouse store or a grocery store. A better option is going to be an interior room such as a bathroom or a closet. A basement, even better, inside a well-built building, but the absolute best option is a tornado safe room or a basement. And a lot of communities in our area have their own tornado safe room. We have a list of those on our website at wcbi.com/safety, and you can find the nearest one there. A lot of those have opened with the tornado watch being in effect. So if you do not have a safe place to go, if you're in a mobile home or you just don't have a place to be, that is definitely an option for you there. But we're going to continue to keep an eye on this rotation now, just coming into the Esperanza community, and could be eventually making its way into central Union County and into New Albany. So latest update on that BTI, looks like it's still going to be a 3.8, so that's going to be on the high end of that low scale, but we're still going to keep a very close eye on this. There's that BTI over there of 3.8, moving off to the east-northeast at about 55 miles an hour. So there's your list of communities. Again, New Albany looking like 340 to 342 for you. So no tornado warning right now for New Albany, but it's continuing in that general direction. So you might want to keep your head up and just keep that in mind as this continues to make it in your direction. Yeah, this is right there at the Blue Springs exit, looking off to the west on I-22, and you can see not much traffic out there, and that's certainly a good thing to see. This is looking back towards New Albany as this storm approaches, and as Keith was mentioning, not only do we have that rotation there, but we've also got some very strong winds just about to come through the central portion of Pontotoc County and in to Pontotoc. So there's Blue Springs right here in this area. This is eventually going to be making its way up here, so heads up to you. If we do not have a tornado in that area, certainly very strong winds, very heavy rain in this. Wouldn't be shocked to see a little bit of hail with as strong as these returns are right there over Highway 278, but we are continuing to monitor the potential here right where these reds and greens are coming together between Esperanza and Flatwood right there on the Pontotoc Union County line. I would say that's our best chance of seeing a tornado spin up, and that's pushing off to the east-northeast in the general direction of New Albany. So once again, no tornado warning currently in effect for New Albany proper, but the western portion of Union and the extreme northwestern portion of Pontotoc County is under that tornado warning. So it's looking like that might be broadening out just a little bit, but either way, still don't want to be outside in all this mess. Very strong winds, especially in that line there, just getting ready to come through Pontotoc. So again, tornado warning is going to continue. I expect that will probably be allowed to expire just a little bit early. They've got it until 3:45, but as you can see, it's really starting to push out of that box. A severe thunderstorm warning down to the south. I guarantee you that's probably going to continue. That's going to go until 3:45 for a good chunk of Pontotoc County, northern Calhoun County, portions of Lafayette County, and this line will eventually be making its way toward Tupelo. So Tupelo heads up in the next 45 minutes to an hour or so. You could be seeing some heavy rain and wind as well. So a very active day all across the southeast. I think Keith's got more on that. What are you seeing? Keith, we've got a brand new tornado warning. This is going to go for Pontotoc and Union counties. It's just the extreme northern sliver of Pontotoc County. You see it from that Nixon community up to the north, and the southern portion of, or I should say the central portion of Union County. New Albany, you are now under a tornado warning. So that rotation area that we were looking at earlier, right there along that county line of Pontotoc and Union, they've now extended that tornado warning. So that's to include nearly all of Union County and the northern portion of Pontotoc County. So let me get this latest track on it for you, moving to the northeast at about 50 miles an hour. And I'm just going to do a general track on this because there are some areas of rotation that could really switch around a little bit. So we don't want to pick one area to track. But in general, New Albany, as we've been mentioning, about 340. But now is the time. You need to get in your tornado safe place. I'll show you those in just a moment. The Graves community, this is going to be near you around 348. Lebanon by 355 and Bethany by 353. So again, just repeating, new tornado warning now in effect for Pontotoc and Union counties. This is going to go until 4 p.m., including the city of New Albany. A good stretch of Interstate 22 between Myrtle and New Albany and down nearly into Lee County. So make sure nobody's driving on I-22. We don't want anybody out there in all this mess. But again, even with the embedded areas of rotation, still a monster storm coming through. Plenty of rain, very heavy rain, and lots of lightning in there. But obviously our big concern right now is the tornado warning. So if you're under that tornado warning, once again, worst place to be is in your car or under a highway overpass. We really want you in an interior room or a basement. That's going to be like a closet or a bathroom with no windows. The absolute best place to be is going to be your tornado shelter or safe room. And as I mentioned, we've got a list of tornado safe places on our website at wcbi.com/safety. Yeah, just a little bit of good news, continuing with what Joey said. The tornado warning for Pontotoc County has been canceled. So the northern portion of Pontotoc County, you are now all clear with the exception of that damaging wind and heavy rain that's rolling through. The tornado threat is over for Pontotoc County, but that tornado warning is going to continue for the eastern portion of Union County until 4 o'clock. Yeah, that's right, Keith. We have a couple of additions. We told you before the entirety of our Mississippi counties have been added under that tornado watch. That's going to go from Mississippi until 9 p.m., but all of our Alabama counties, Pickens, Fayette, Lamar, and Marion, have now been added to this tornado warning until 11 p.m. So everybody now under our tornado watch, I should say, tornado watch in effect for the entire viewing area, some of us until 9 p.m., some of us until 11 p.m. So obviously a developing situation. We've still got this strong storm coming into the northern portion of Union County. Looks like that rotation might be trying to tighten up just a little bit as it comes into the Halltown community and that extreme northeastern portion of Union County. That would then take it into Prentiss County, which is not under a tornado warning right at this moment. But obviously that's something we need to start to think of as this rotation continues. The National Weather Service could certainly put portions of Prentiss County under a tornado warning if it continues to look like this over the next few minutes. So on that shear rate product, we'll show you once again. This is what we're looking at for more of the strong wind threat, but this area up here is what we're looking at for the potential of some rotation. So as I mentioned, coming into Halltown right now and to Graham, and this is Highway 30 right here. So eventually crossing Highway 30 going into Prentiss County. Just as an FYI for you, the BTI on this storm is now a 7. We told you earlier, obviously a 7 is something we really start to look at and be a little concerned about with this rotation. Earlier it was a 3.8. And that is now a 7, and that's a scale out of 10. So this radar is really thinking that this storm could be producing a tornado if it's not already. So we want to take this one a little more seriously as it pushes into Prentiss County, I should say. This is something that Highway 45 will need to look out for north of Tupelo. And once again, I want you to keep in mind, we told you earlier that BTI now of a 7, and that's saying that a tornado is getting into the higher ranges of a possibility. So we're going to call this a tornado possible, but right on the line of a tornado being probable, and that means there's probably a tornado in there. So we're right here between these right now. This is something we're going to continue to keep a very close eye on with that high of a value. You don't see that much too often, and this would take it into Boonville here in the next little bit. 406 is what this radar is saying for Boonville, eventually into Blythe's Chapel by 410 and into Synagogue by 411.
Trevor, we're getting a new tornado warning. This is for other parts of Itawamba, Lee, Prentiss, and Union counties. That goes until 4:15. Don't know yet. We are looking in the sky, in the atmosphere here. It looks like we may have something there in Jericho. Trevor, talk about that debris signature, or
yes,
possible debris signature.
Right, we've showed this earlier, and basically what this is the radar looking at is not the rain, but it's actually seeing if what it's looking at is the same. So where you see these darker colors, these pinks, these purples, these reds, it's looking out and it's saying, oh, okay, everything I'm seeing is rain. But where you see these lower values here in yellow, it's looking and it's seeing differently shaped objects. So what we can use this to judge is this very well could be debris being lofted up in the air. Obviously, when a tornado comes through, it picks up trees, roofs, all kind of stuff, and it gets thrown up into the atmosphere.
Yeah, and Trevor, that one right there, did you skim that back and forth? We actually got a little blue there.
Yeah, right in here. So
scans.
this is very likely right here in this area, just to the west of Jericho.
It probably did something for sure.
This is likely that this was a tornado on the ground that produced damage and still could be on the ground. So use this to your benefit to tell you this is not just a tornado warning that you can set out. This is a confirmed radar tornado that the radar is saying this is a tornado on the ground causing damage just to the west of the community of Jericho. So giving you a little idea of where this was just a few minutes ago. This was right there, County Road 174, State Highway 370, again, just to the west of Jericho. And let me tell you where that is now. This area now just crossing into the southwestern portion of Prentiss County, south of Lebanon. That is the area that we're tracking that could be producing tornado debris. It looks like it's maybe broadened out just a little bit. It might not still be on the ground, but this area for sure, maybe even this area in northern Lee County, north of Guntown, coming right now across Highway 45. That's another area that we're going to have to watch for the potential of some spin-up tornadoes. No debris detected on that one, but very safe to say that we likely just had a tornado occur in the extreme eastern portion of Union County and the western portion of Prentiss County as this storm continues to push off to the east, right there along Highway 45 and into the rest of northern Lee County and Prentiss County. Keith?
Yeah, the southern one may have done something a couple of scans ago at the same time. This could be where we had two particular things going on near Blair, near Alpine, just a couple of scans ago. We are just going to wait and see what comes out of that. But like Trevor was just mentioning, we have a couple of circulations that have been moving through these areas. Sometimes there's some beam issues there, but we had two circulations, and it looks like briefly we could have two tornado debris signatures there up here in this area. Right now, the big cause for concern are these couplets, one of which is moving near Lebanon. This other one, which is moving right over at 45, Baldwin, you need to be in your tornado shelter right now, especially areas south of Baldwin near County Road 2788 over towards Pratt. So just north of Guntown, just south of Baldwin right here. This is that other circulation right here. Okay.
Like possibly.
So let me, Trevor's saying we have some potential debris showing up on this. Let's go over to that, and that's what that could be right here.
Yeah, right in this area, I would say south of Baldwin, right along Highway 145. This is right now, present time, the radar is possibly detecting the presence of some debris in the storm. And what we would look for to confirm this is to see if it matches up with the rotation. And as we switch over, you can see we've definitely got some spinning going on. So we're going to call this probably another radar confirmed tornado. This is in northern Lee County. This is going to pass right between the community of Pratt and Baldwin. If you're in this area, northern Lee County, getting into the southern portion of Prentiss County here in the next little bit, this could be another tornado spinning up right now. So please, please, please take your tornado safety precautions if you're in this area. This one is going to be skimming the southern portion of Prentiss County as it leaves Lee County. But keep in mind, we've had that other area of rotation that we've been keeping an eye on that likely just produced a tornado in northeastern Union County. It is now continuing and possibly a little closer to the more populated areas of Prentiss County, possibly up towards Boonville and getting in toward the community of Frankstown. So right now we're going to keep a close eye on this one. And as if we needed more indication, law enforcement now reporting a tornado on the ground just coming through Guntown. So this debris signature, the deeper blues are saying that the radar is really picking up stuff that shouldn't be there. So this is picking up branches, leaves, pieces of people's homes, possibly, unfortunately. And this is right near the community of Pratt's coming into southern Prentiss County. So I cannot stress this enough. If you are in southern Prentiss County, this is a tornado on the ground. I know a lot of times you get these tornado warnings and you don't pay attention to them. This is one you have got to pay attention to. This is producing damage right now in northern Lee County, coming into southern Prentiss County. If you're between Marietta and Altitude in the eastern portion of Prentiss County, be in your tornado safe place. To be safe, if you're in Prentiss County, be in your tornado safe place. Again, the best place to be for this is going to be the lowest floor of the building you're currently in. Basement is best, but an interior room on the first floor will do just fine. A bathroom, an interior closet, get away from windows. This could potentially be a serious situation with this confirmed tornado on the ground. And again, if you missed it, law enforcement confirmed this tornado in Guntown just a few moments ago in northern Lee County, and our radar is continuing to indicate just to the north and west of the community of Pratts that this is a tornado doing damage, just getting ready to cross into the southern portion of Prentiss County.
Yeah, Trevor, as if we didn't already know there was a tornado there, which you clearly have talked about. The BTI on this 6.9, very, very high relative to what we typically see. This thing is moving to the northeast quickly, so downstream, Hobo Station by 412. These areas that you see on the list here, maybe New Hope up here, altitude 419. We are looking at these areas that are possibly under the gun here as we go throughout the next couple of minutes. So,
and Keith, we're now getting reports of structural damage.
Okay.
Unfortunately, this is Highway 45 and County Road 911. I assume that's going to be somewhere in here. A church completely destroyed. That was reported by law enforcement there, and also more structural damage reported in the northern portion of Guntown. That storm now crossing into Prentiss County.
And confirmed tornado debris signatures here. And we don't plot the TDS icon often, Trevor, but when we do, it means we've had some damage.
It is serious, and as you mentioned, we've already gotten reports of that damage in Guntown. We have that 18-wheeler blown off Highway 45 with medics being called, so this is a very serious situation, and that same storm is still continuing through much of Prentiss County. I know this radar looks like a mess, but here's what I want you to focus on, the time that it's going to be in your community. Don't let this be the time that you take shelter. Take shelter now, but just as a general idea, Blythe's Chapel, 414. New Hope, that's not our New Hope. New Hope in up north, 418. Tishomingo, 426. Carter Branch by 430. And if it holds together, it could be into Burnstown just after 430. So again, that is not the New Hope in Lowndes County. That is the New Hope up to the north in Prentiss County that is being impacted by this situation. So again, BTI continues to be fairly high. Right now at 6.5. That means a tornado is probably occurring if it had not occurred already. And you see that tornado debris signature there. Let me get some of this mess off your screen here. That little gray spinning circle you see here, this is a Barren product that's basically showing us there is damage that has occurred here. And we already know that it happened in Guntown, could very well have some damage up to the extreme northeastern portion of Lee County. Again, this tornado warning continues until 4:15. Could possibly see an expansion of that into Tishomingo County, just as a heads up. Not sure if that's going to happen yet, but we'll, of course, keep you updated if it does. But this tornado warning is going to go until at least 4:15 with damage already having occurred.
Oh, it is. Okay.
That's going to be expanded for Itawamba, Prentiss, Tishomingo until 4:45 as this storm continues to roll through. So this is now going to go anywhere from Iuka and Interstate 22 all the way down to the south in Belmont. So basically the entirety of Tishomingo County now under a tornado warning, as well as the eastern portion of Prentiss County as this storm continues to roll through.
Yeah, go ahead and just update us with something else there.
Yeah, just a general overview. I know this is the extreme northern portion of our area, and some folks watching in Columbus, Starkville are like, what is going on? This is all the way to the north here. So I just wanted to kind of give you a lay of the land for folks that might be not under that tornado warning right now. But just as a reminder, there is a tornado warning in effect for the eastern portion of Prentiss County and a majority of Tishomingo County until 4:45 p.m. So south of that, we've got some heavy storms moving through the southern portion of Lee County right now and coming through Houston, north of Houston, up north toward Okolona. That's going to be coming across 45 alternate here in the next little bit, right there where 45 and the 45 alternate come together. Very heavy rain, possibly some hail occurring in that. South of that, some heavier stuff getting into Webster County now, coming in from Montgomery County from the west. We've got some heavier storms there. And let me zoom out for you, and just to give you an idea of what we're looking at in the future, I'm going to have to switch over to the radar sites. But we've got all of this that we're going to have to contend with later on tonight. So do not think that the threat is over. All of us are still under a threat for severe weather. Columbus, south, your threat is going to be coming later on in the next hour, if not later on this evening. But we've got this strong line of storms, and notice down to the south, that ticker might be in your way, so let me move this up just a little bit. We've got tornado warnings continuing down to the south along I-55 Brookhaven area under a tornado warning. Looks like a pretty staunch storm to the west of Hattiesburg, and more storms crossing the river from Natchez. So a monster system here, anywhere from the Tennessee state line all the way down into Texas, a huge storm system. And obviously we still have the threat for severe weather in between these, where some of that that warm air can interact with the moisture and prompt these storms to pop up. But again, just as a reminder, you're seeing it at the bottom of your screen right now, but tornado warning is going to continue for Prentiss County, Tishomingo County, and the extreme northern portion of Itawamba County. This is not going to include ICC, Fulton, any of that, but the extreme northern portion of Itawamba County and Tishomingo County until 4:45. Well, let's check in on the velocity here, and this is a look at the winds. And really, anywhere in this storm is kind of rotating. I would think the best area of rotation will be right in there, but we've got some more areas of rotation coming up on Highway 25 north of Belmont. So really, anywhere in Tishomingo County, you need to be in your tornado safe place right now, and definitely need to be inside. You don't want to be driving. You don't want to be outside. Even if you're not worried about the tornado in your specific location, some very, very heavy rain coming through, some gusty winds, and possibly some hail. But once again, our main threat right now is going to be the tornado warning that's going to go for the majority of Tishomingo County. And I think that threat for Prentiss County is slowly but surely coming to an end. That tornado warning likely will be ending here shortly. But as this storm continues to push into Tishomingo County, that's where our focus heads to next. So anywhere in Tishomingo County, south of Interstate 22, you are included in this tornado warning until 4:45 as this area of rotation continues to push through. Keith? Yeah, the last thing you want to be doing is trying to go out and spot this. We don't need photos that bad. We don't need videos that bad. Nobody needs to see it. What you need to be focusing on if you're in that tornado warning is being in your safe place and having a way to receive those weather alerts and continue to watching us live, I should say. I did want to mention we've got a report out of Randolph here, the Randolph community in the western portion of Pontotoc County. The emergency manager there is reporting some thunderstorm wind damage, trees down, and structural damage near Highway 9 and County Road 174. So not sure if that's from a possible spin up tornado or just from some gusty winds, but some damage being reported there in the community of Randolph. I also wanted to mention, even though this storm right now is not tornado warned south of Tupelo, this is a storm that's packing quite a punch. You see these purples and pinks showing up in here? That's somewhere we could definitely be seeing some hail. Now you see that little bit of black showing up. So Okolona and north, wouldn't be shocked to see some hail falling in here. Obviously do not want to be outside during any hail. You really shouldn't be outside at this point at all. Let me switch you over to the hail swath, and you can see where this hail has continued. Those darker purples there, that is where hail is likely. So no tornado warning in effect for Okolona, but you could see some hail. I wouldn't be shocked if areas north of Houston saw some hail earlier. And we've also got some very strong winds through this, as we've been talking about. This gradient here that came through Okolona, these are the winds in the atmosphere. But the good news is, notice how it's all one color. When we look for tornadoes, we look for a little bit of green and a little bit of red right next to each other. That's indicative of winds turning in the atmosphere. So the fact that this is all coming in one direction is a little bit better news. That's not to say this could not cause some damage. Just to give you an idea, now keep in mind these wind speeds I'm about to show you are a little bit higher up, but some of these could be translating down to the surface. This radar is picking up on about 70 miles an hour of wind just to the south and west of Okolona, 60 miles an hour to the north of that, and that is why that severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for much of the northern portion of our area. So very strong storm coming right there along Highway 45, right where 45 alternate and 45 split in southern Lee County. This is going to continue into the northern portion of Monroe County. You're under a severe thunderstorm warning right now, and the southern portion of Tishomingo County, or I should say Itawamba County, you're also under this severe thunderstorm warning as this heavy storm continues to push off to the north and the east. Keith? Just got this sent in. This came in from Seth Davis, and he saw some damage up in Calhoun County. This is at County Road 481 at Highway 8, and you can see just about all these trees have been plowed down. Now, the good news is, notice how all these trees are falling in the same direction. That's a good indication that this was just straight line winds as opposed to a tornado. If it was a tornado, you'd notice one tree laying this way, one tree laying this way. So this just looks like some very, very strong winds came through, and that lines up with what is coming through the northern portion of Lee County into northern Monroe County and into Itawamba County right now. These very strong winds gusting potentially up to 70 miles an hour at times. So just because you're not under a tornado warning, don't discount those severe thunderstorm warnings, because they can still cause damage. Remember, if you see any damage and would like to send it in to us safely, you can send it in to us on our Facebook page, WCBI Weather, Instagram, or Twitter. You can also send it via email, weather@wcbi.com. We would love to pass along your reports and damage if you can do so safely. Of course, we don't want you getting out not in any mess with that. I did want to let you know, a lot of folks on the Facebook live stream, we are also streaming on Facebook. In the event you lose power, we'll keep doing that through the evening if we have a tornado warning. A lot of folks are asking about Columbus, and obviously for good reason. Here in Columbus, we're not seeing anything. All these storms have been off to the north, but all these storms down to the south are going to continue to move up in our direction. We've got tornado warnings to the south of Jackson, and as you can see, that would put it into our general direction. So if this will hang together, we're going to have to be watching very carefully for some strong storms that could produce damaging winds, hail, and tornadoes moving into the Golden Triangle and the rest of the WCBI viewing area as we get closer to 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and as late as 10 or 11 o'clock. Of course, that's when that tornado watch continues for our West Alabama counties. So very potent storm system. We've got tornado warnings to the north, tornado warnings to the south. We're just in a little bit of a lull right here in Columbus, but we are going to continue to watch these storms as they filter up to the north. I believe Joey Barnes is ready now with some new information. Joey, what can you tell us?
All right, thanks a lot, Trevor. Still getting damage reports kind of trickling in a little bit. I know y'all have reported on the damage there in Guntown, northern Lee County. I've talked with the Mississippi Highway Patrol. As far as they know, all of the highways are still open at this time, and that is in the Guntown and Pratt area, the area of Guntown First Baptist Church. All that damage kind of centered around there. Also, lots of reports of trees down and cars hydroplaning, according to the Mississippi Highway Patrol. And also in Prentiss County, Sheriff Randy Toller tells me that there are some trees down in the south and southeast portions of the county around Baldwin and New Site. That's highways 366 and 371 east of Baldwin and New Site. So if that gives you any kind of general indication, of course, some power outages there. Reached out to folks in Tishomingo County, but obviously they've been kind of under the gun there and haven't gotten back with us, and we'll continue to follow up with them. And as far as we know, no injuries reported at this time.
This has been a WCBI First Alert Severe Weather Update. Stay connected with the First Alert team online at WCBI.com, on social media, and on your mobile device with the WCBI News app.